win it. I'm Jason Gilbo, J Gilbo 11, breaking down the stacks for tonight's 6-game Thursday slate. Definitely have some pitchers to pick on. Going to be some good spots for a lot of these offenses, especially in some good ballparks. Jumping into this first game here, we got Mike Clevinger versus Wade Miley. Clevinger is missing some bats. He's a guy I wouldn't be surprised to have a decent outing or at least hold Baltimore, but probably not on my radar. I won't be using him tonight. But I'll hesitate to kind of maybe take some Baltimore bats at a heavy exposure. But you look at Clevinger, hasn't been bad against righties this year. 47% ground ball rate, is allowing a 34% hard contact rate. 252 WOBA though. It's over 21.2 innings, so he's been a little bit worse off against lefties, especially in his career as well. 328 WOBA, 1.72 home runs per 9. I still think Machado, Trumbo, Jones, Mancini, Scope, Seth Smith are a viable stack in that ballpark tonight. Warm night in Baltimore, wind blowing out a little bit, definitely in play. Then we go over to the Cleveland side. This is one where I'm probably going to be doing a little bit more one-offs. I can see definitely a stack of Lindor, Encarnacion, Jose Ramirez, but it's certainly on the expensive side. I mean, especially with Ramirez and Encarnacion's price. I just want to see how that lineup kind of shakes out because you could get some of those platoon guys. You always have Carlos Santana, who's mixed in the lineup there, both at first base with Encarnacion. So Cleveland's definitely in play. You look at Miley against righties this year. That WOBA is starting to shoot up as we expected. 352 WOBA, 35% hard contact rate, 1.35 home runs per 9 to righties. So very much so you can fire away with some of those Cleveland right-handed bats. Just a matter to see what that lineup looks like before we start to make it like a 4-man stack. It might be more 1-off, 2-off territory, if anything. But, if you get something like Yan Gomes, Austin Jackson, Jose Ramirez, Encarnacion, kind of batting that 4, 5, 6, 7, I would not hate that at all. Will be a little bit contrarian as well, saves you some cash. So keep that in mind. Yankees are the next stack. It was a lot of the back half. We got Gregorius last night. Matt Holliday was kind of spread out a little bit. Guys like Aaron Judge, Starlin Castro, Gary Sanchez didn't really pan on the stack. But tonight, this is one you can go back to the well. Especially with those right-handed bats. 371 WOBA to righties, 2.68 home runs per 9. Chavez has around 13 home runs to right-handed bats, 39% hard contact rate. Fire away with these Yankees bats here. Even against lefties, Chavez is pretty average. 306 WOBA, but you look at his FIP and xFIP over 4.5. So fire away with these Yankees bats. I like Hicks, Judge, Holliday, Castro, Sanchez, Gregorius again. Don't hate Gardner, but I don't like paying his price tag most of the time. He's only a guy if I'm just building multiple Yankee stacks because their lineup is so deep. That's where I consider him. But he never really makes my first cut. And I'll live by it if he hits a homer. So over 5.5 run total there in New York, definitely playable. Then we move to Atlanta. Always a fan of attacking Matt Cain, especially when he's on the road. 355 WOBA to lefties this year, 33% hard contact rate, just a 12.4% swing strike rate. Righties have hit him hard as well. 353 WOBA, 1.30 home runs per 9. Look at this Braves team. Inside Arte, Phillips, Markakis, Kemp, Adams, even Tyler Flowers. I wouldn't mind going there if you wanted to leave out one of the outfielders. So this is a good spot here, near 5-run total. You look at what SunTrust Park has played this year, very friendly for hitters, especially when the warmer, humid weather hits up, and that's there tonight. So I'm definitely on board. I'll be firing away with at least one Atlanta stack. And they're not badly priced either, so you'll be able to fit Severino in there with them and feel pretty good about it, or even a cheaper pitcher and get some of those good one-offs from the other stacks as well. So I love Atlanta, good value stack. Probably won't fly under the radar. But I don't think that as many people will be focused on just given the fact that Cleveland, Baltimore, and New York are all in good spots as well. If you go to the West Coast, this is a spot where I'm probably not going to be stacking Mets or Dodgers. I like more one-offs here than just full stacks. Detroit's in a good spot. Andrew Moore making a start for Seattle, rookie right-hander. This might be a good spot to kind of buy low on Detroit. The thing is, there's not a lot of knowledge of this Andrew Moore guy. Whenever we see guys with the first tape and first look, it's just kind of one of those mystery things. So, Tigers prices aren't bad. Miguel Cabrera is only 3,400 on DK. We know his power potential. Run total there very high, up over 9 in Seattle. They're expecting a shootout. So, I think both are viable stacks. I talked about Norris. He's just kind of one of those boomer bust options. So a Segura, Haniger, Cruz, Valencia stack, Zunino even is not out of the question. That Seattle game is kind of intriguing to stack if you're looking to build multiple. It won't crack my first 3 or 4 stacks. I'll keep that on the East Coast, but there's definitely some potential out there. So definitely in play. Cubs, I talked about this a few games ago. They're probably going to play Bryant, Contreras, Russell, Baez, Almora in a row. A very cheap stack outside of Bryant, but it is a cheap stack against Jeff Locke, who's pretty average against righties. This year he's been a little bit better, obviously, but it's a small sample size. Over his career, he's been much worse, but in bigger ballparks, he's not too bad. It looks like he's rolling a little bit more ground ball, so I'm not keen on firing away with the Cubs. I think there's better offenses tonight, but they do make an intriguing stack for just building a bunch of lineups, so they're in play. If I had to rank them here, I would definitely go New York, Cleveland, Atlanta, Baltimore, and then Tigers in Seattle. Those would be my rankings there for tonight's slate. So in play, good luck, everyone. Head on over to DaveNastyCafe.com to check out our tools and content.